Good morning, everyone. I've thought about doing this video for some time and just never have done it, and I think today is a good day to try to make a little video about gun control. After last week's shooting at a school that killed 17 kids, I just want to put my voice out there so that my grandkids can look back on this and see that Grandpa was really thinking of them and was trying to protect them with what little I can do as far as in my vote and voicing my opinion. I think the automatics and semi-automatic weapons with the capacity to kill tens and twenties of peoples or whatever are just wrong. When the Constitution was passed, the guns back then were black powder, single shot type weapons. And it's come down to where, back in the, I can't remember if it was the 20s or 30s, that they did pass a law that you weren't allowed to have submachine guns and such. And now they've come out with these, I didn't know about them until the Las Vegas shooting, but they have bump stocks that pretty much make most weapons a fully automatic weapon, and in some way they can circumvent the laws with these contraptions. But just a dedicated shooter in a school is kind of like the old thing of shooting fish in a barrel. I don't have the answer, and I don't believe that it will all stop. I know in other countries there are knife attacks and other forms of mass destruction of populations. But where we are able to do things and restricting guns, I think it needs to be done. I was raised up with weapons and guns. I had my first BB gun at like 5 or 6, and I had a shotgun whenever I was 8 or 9, and I was taught responsibility though, and to respect life. Even in the game that I was out to shoot and put on the table, put it down quick and humanely, and not just shooting indiscriminately that so many of these people nowadays seem to get into. And I don't even, that happened last week, and I don't even know that kid's name that did the shooting. I can't tell you the name of the guy that did the shooting in Las Vegas. But, I remember names like Booth and Oswald. And if these shooters feel the challenge that they need to go name hunting with a gun, do something that your name gonna get in a history book for. Hell, Trump was, his campaign, the NRA gave him $30 million to get elected and all that. If you got to shoot somebody, hell, make a name for yourself. Go after a big seat, not some kids in a high school that, like I said, I can't remember the guy's name from Sandy Brook or any of them. I don't, the combine shooting or whatever, that don't stick in my mind. But if you're out to do something, like they said this kid put it up there that he was going to be known as a mass killer at the school or on that hit list or whatever, that's not, to me, is not a great accomplishment to be remembered for. And it's really sad that our society has come down to that's considered a notoriety of some sort, and some cults or whatever. I don't understand. But I don't see where having a weapon that can shoot hundreds of rounds and do the type damage and harm that we're allowing to walk our streets is of benefit to anyone in the name of any kind of freedom to own firearms. I just don't see what having an Uzi or whatever, which I owned one back in the 80s and couldn't afford to shoot it very often because of the rounds costing so much for me. But I got more responsible and I had other things to do in building this place up for myself and for my grandkids and everything, and wised up that I just didn't need that, and it was, the one I had was illegal. If I'd have got caught, it'd have been a big time felony. And so anyway, I don't see that these people from Las Vegas to Sandy Brook to wherever need the weapons that they're legally able to acquire. There are rights to arm ourselves, and with the militarization of the law enforcement that we're seeing more and more of with these combat vehicles. I watched the Senate hearing the other day to where a town only had 3,500 people in it, only had one full-time law enforcement officer, but had received 2 of these armored vehicles. Didn't have but one person to drive it, but they had 2 of the vehicles given to them, more or less, $1 million vehicles. And Army surplus or whatever you want to call it, that's just ridiculous. And I don't see where any law enforcement needs a militarized vehicle. Another one was in Ferguson, the law enforcement with bayonets. And that was on the Senate floor, and they were questioning these people that deal with the surplus, and some of it's not surplus. They were talking about some of this stuff is brand new, never been used by the military, but they're giving it away at, $1 million a clip. But they had sold tens of thousands of bayonets, or given them to Ferguson. And it was specifically said in these papers of getting rid of this military surplus that it wasn't to be used in riot control. But yet, if you look at some of the videos of Ferguson, here's all these cops and whatever out there with a bayonet on their damn gun. And I don't know, like I said, we have problems in this country. And as long as institutions like the NRA can contribute $30 million to people like Trump, we're going to keep having problems. I think we need to put a bounty out on lobbyists, what have you. I don't know. I don't have the answers, folks, but I wanted to go on record that my grandkids can see that I was trying with my vote and my voice to look out for their well-being and their interest. And we have a lot of problems in our country, and a lot of it has to do with firearms and the government. Blessings all. Peace to everyone.